if I renounced my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home and just took it easy, the persecution of Donald Trump would stop immediately. It would stop. But that's not what I will do. I can't do that. A much simpler life. Have to save our country.
That was former President Donald Trump earlier this week. Will he or won't he? It's the question on a lot of people's minds as Trump hints at another presidential run in 2024. My next guest says it's money in the bank. Joining me now, former advisor to Presidents Clinton and Trump, host of Dick Morris Democracy and author of The Return, Trump's big 2024 comeback, Dick Morris. Hey, Dick, it's great to see you as always. You know, maybe you've noticed this, maybe you haven't. I noticed President Trump really getting specific on policy positions that contrast heavily with Joe Biden on the border, economics, and crime. Doesn't his recent rhetoric actually buttress your prediction?
Yeah, of course it does. And he's getting closer to it every day. This speech was really basically a State of the Union speech. It was like he would give in the first month after his presidency. And in Gettysburg, where he outlined his program, that all of the promises that he's kept every single one of them on the list. And this was the same thing. He is definitely running. But the thing that I find unique about this, Chris, is that he has federalized the crime issue. I write in the book that he has three big issues: inflation, crime, and immigration. But crime has always been a local issue, a state and local issue. And in his speech this week, he prominently talked about making this a federal issue. He recommended that states and localities adopt stop and frisk, which is the only solution to murders in the cities. You know, we talk about gun control. Well, this is gun control for criminals because you can search people late at night in suspicious areas. And if they have guns on their person, arrest them and put them in jail. And when the courts threw out stop and frisk, they said you have no probable cause just because a guy's on the street at 4 a.m. wearing a hood. But Trump has talked about metal detectors, remote metal detectors that you can use from a block away that says, I don't know what it is, but that guy has metal in his pocket. And that's probable cause to pat him down and take away his gun if he has one. So I think that we're really dealing here with a major initiative on crime. He even said he would take over from state and local officials, like in Chicago.
Right. Well, see, I wanted to ask you about that because I only got about a minute and a half left here, Dick. But one of the other eyebrow raisers that made a lot of headlines when President Trump called for the death penalty for drug dealers who are peddling fentanyl, this poison into the nation's veins. Good move or bad move on his part, do you think?
Well, good move, I think. I think that the death penalty is, it's funny to say it's more symbolic than real because it is death, but the courts have been very loath to impose that. But I think he will pass legislation authorizing it. The important point about that is the bargaining power it gives the police and the way to stop a felony murder. Felony murder is when you're robbing a store, you're committing a felony, and you say, for good measure, I think I'll kill the store owner. Well, if it's life imprisonment anyway, why not? But if the death penalty is on the table and you do kill the store owner, you think twice about that. But I think the political point is that Nixon won in 1960s because he made crime a federal issue, talking about Supreme Court decisions. Now Trump is doing the same thing, and he's doing it with innovative, new, and important proposals to deal with crime. And this all goes back to my basic theme, Chris, that Trump can say 4 words nobody else can. I did it already. I did it already.
Wow.
When you talk about
your life was better when I was in the White House, he can say that too credibly as well. Dick Morris got a Yep. Dick, appreciate the time as always. Got to scoot. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. I want to tell you about the Patriot Gold Group. But first, let me tell you that the S&P has already lost $8.2 trillion in 2022. Did you know that? Peak inflation is not even hit despite the Fed rate hikes on groceries, on gas. You know it as well as I do. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are warning of another 20% drop. Inflation is winning in a knockout right now. The Fed is going to raise rates again at the end of July. Meanwhile, Goldman, Wells Fargo, and Bloomberg are all forecasting gold to surpass all-time highs. If you want to invest in gold, call 888-936-2373 now. Call the Patriot Gold Group today and ask about their no-fee-for-life IRA. Sounds like a good deal, don't it? Here's the number, 888-936-2373, 888-936-2373 for the Patriot Gold Group.